Hello beautiful people, shallow money makers. As the stock market is crashing, the crypto market and Luna Classic are holding, and Terra Rebels has a plan for Luna Classic to potentially recover and get back to the former all-time highs. We're going to go over all of that. This is a must-watch video for Terra Luna Classic holders. All I ask is if you give me a beautiful smile. Click that like button and let's get straight into it. So currently the price of Luna Classic is at 0.3027958. Luna Classic has been able to hold its levels more or less, even though that the stock market is seeing signs of crash. Nasdaq down 2.8%, S&P 2%, Russell down 2.53%, right, but the crypto market is holding more or less right, up 1.7% in the last 24 hours. We're seeing a situation where crypto market Bitcoin has okay refresh. Now it's 0. I remember that. That was the value in the morning. Technical difficulty time, right? Yeah, so the crypto market had fallen stronger than the stock market. Stock market had a recovery. Now we're seeing the stock market pull back while the crypto market is pretty flat. Bitcoin is almost 20,000 level. Ethereum had dropped because it had gone up before the merge, and now it's pulled back a little bit more. But the crypto market in general is still around that 1 trillion market for Luna Classic. The consolidation continues right up a little bit, but basically consolidating here between the two levels here for Luna Classic. Now we got an update from the Terra Rebels that they have been working on a revival program for Luna Classic. Now this is important, right? We already have the 1.2% tax that has come into place, right? And we have burned already 2 billion Luna Classic in the past week compared to 4 billion in the past 4 months before the 1.2% tax was implemented for Luna Classic. In the following days, as CX and DApps adjust to the change, we will continue to monitor the burn and share the results. But one thing to note and celebrate is Luna Classic is now officially deflationary, right? Meaning that the circulating supply is getting smaller, right? Not larger like it did when we had the whole deep right in this medium, which I'm going to link in the description down below. It was written by Edward Kim. There's also a link here that explains exactly how that inflationary event happened, how the circulating supply ballooned to 6.9 trillion Luna tokens, right, the max supply of. So if that's something that interests you and you haven't read about it before, it's very interesting how that happened. And what was the technology or the algorithm before, right, because it's important here. They're trying to do some kind of. And more or less, we'll get to that in just a second. So then the Edwards says here for Luna Classic, looking back from, let's get this larger than life. Here we go. Looking back from where we started, we have passed some major milestones, including the installation of version 22 and delivery of the tax. We have successfully transitioned from merging phase 2, rebuild stage. Here we outline the 3 major objectives we are working on: rebuild the aggregate algorithmic, fungible token, rebuild the project ecosystem, and rebuild independence. This is maybe the most complicated part of this and how it's going to happen, right? The algorithmic, fungible token. Now this is a little bit high level. I know it's not for everybody, not everybody's interested in this, but it's very important to understand this about Luna Classics. So, and we'll see if this exactly happens, or that we need to vote on this. This is how it is with Luna Classics. So we'll see. As noted by Alex Forshaw, the past terrorist swap mechanism was able to reduce the lunar supply bags approximately 50%/18-month period. There were obvious flaws in the previous system leading to the hyperinflation of Luna and collapse of USD. But nonetheless is likely our best shot in drastically reducing the total supply. And here's the link which I talked about how terrorists burn used to work, right? There are several stages to rebuilding the market swap. The first is the debt-to-equity swap in order to repay the ATAF to $1. Most people have heard government bailouts. with some energy steps in and cover the bill. So there's the possibility that someone with a lot of money would come in and invest in the community, invest in Lunar Classic and try to bring that and make that happen. While we could seek bailout from external investor or entity, the community would be beholden to them whether we like it or not. Decisions about the future of the chain and the 8 feet would likely be governed by this entity, thus centralizing decision and power. Therefore, the ideal situation is similar in this principle. To the tax, everyone in the community can shoulder the burden. This process would either require certain percentage dilution or community fundraising, but would immediately repeat the AFT $21 and most importantly, provide substantial media collateralization of the FT. Okay, so this is interesting. We'll stop here for a second. The idea here is that every person gives a percentage of their holding, right? And that way they were able to raise the money to create the funds. So we can create the FT, the stable coin. And this is an interesting thing, right? It would be interesting if this passes. The tax passed, so it makes sense that something like this would pass as well. People want to revive, people want to help the community. But it's, giving a percentage of your asset, right? It's not a tax where a tax is only if you trade, right? You buy and sell. But let's say somebody's just holding right now, they're going to have to pay a fee. And so maybe some people don't want to do that. So that's going to be interesting to see what will happen with that. The Repi team led by ForceShare working on a significantly strengthened idle control system to dramatically reduce the odds of another death spiral. A large unchained programmatic reserve, meanwhile, would be designed to retire the entire circling supply of USTC at a volume-weighted average price of around 50 cents. This would not go shorty, it's your birthday 50 cents. This would not shield Luna Classic holders from significant losses in the event of a systematic crisis, but it would make hyperinflationary scenario theoretically impossible. So, let's hope right. The timeline in this plan takes place in several pieces, with the first step occurring before the end of 2022. Stay tuned for more details as they become available. And then we're talking about rebuild the project ecosystem, so we're already seeing some things pop out. No more projects, but it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with this, right?